Okay, so today is going to be more of a conversation with you guys as well as with the listener, because the whole goal of this episode is to help whoever's listening to this maintain almost their boundaries and their wants when it comes to what they're wanting to change in their lives, if that makes sense. So, at least for me, and I guess I'll back up, at least for me, I remember when I was going through my health journey, especially for the first time, I was going to the gym for the first time, and yeah, people just always like kind of had something to say, which is okay. And it's always like to each their own, you know, like whatever they say, it reflects back onto them and how they're feeling. And I think looking back on that, I totally understand. But I feel like I'm not the only one that has experienced this in one way, shape, or form. I even think about like if you're trying to change career paths, if you quit a job that your parents thought were really good and then you wanted to do something else, like everyone, you know, like your parents just want the best for you, but then you have to know that you also know what's best for you at the end of the day, and how to maintain your boundaries with that. So I like wanted to ramble off a few different experiences I had, but honestly, none of them are that crazy. I guess to me, it's just like it was my own feelings during these experiences. So I remember one time I wanted to go to the gym and I had made the promise to go to the gym, and I knew that if I broke this promise after a good like streak of me going to the gym, it was going to be so much harder to get back on the wagon. And I always say that it's so much harder to get back on the wagon than just maintain the wagon and like stay on. Um, and I think it was like friends were going out and having like a good time, or there was like a party at someone's house. And I was just like, I'm sorry, like I'm going. And it kind of was like a little bit of a fight or like a little spat. And again, I think about that and I'm like, okay, obviously it's healthy for you to hang out with your friends, and like you don't need to like go dark for 6 months and cut everyone out of your life to change your life and whatever, even though sometimes it is kind of easier that way. But I do think I actually appreciated myself in that moment because I had made that promise and I stuck to it. And I think that is such a good skill to learn, that even if people are wanting you to cheat on your diet or to not go to the gym, whatever, like the times that I actually stuck to what I promised myself, I was actually extremely grateful for that. And I remember even, I feel like I said this in another episode, but even when I like lost a lot of weight and I was feeling pretty good about myself, but I didn't realize other people had noticed, other people started treating me different. And I guess this isn't a lot to do with change, but even just seeing the other side of things still sticks with me to this day. Like the popular girl at my school that never paid attention to me, like said I looked really good and what was I doing? And I was just like, oh, you've never talked to me before, you know, like all those little things. Or I actually think I said, the popular guy, like one of the most popular guys in this school, like hit on me after high school after I lost weight, and I was literally his chemistry partner, and he like forgot that I was. Like so rude, you know what I mean? Like I think about that and I'm just like, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. This has nothing to do with what I really want to get into. But it's all of the ways in which other people change when you change. And
for better and for worse.
Yes, for better and for worse, exactly. And you know what? There's something, and I don't want to say this was all me and all my doing, because I know it's absolutely not. But something I feel like you have said in the past that I have realized and I've loved is, if you change and you want your loved ones to change something too, the best thing you can do is maintain what you're doing in your life, and then people that you love will start wanting to do it because they see how much it's changed your life. So even in terms of like the gym and our family, not saying I'm the one that has changed everything in our life.
What's changed everything in our life?
And I
Brighton's
believe like
the one.
But like, I mean, this is just coming like up thinking about that. Let's say I was so rude and I was like, you guys should go to the gym or whatever, and you're like trying to force your spouse to go to the gym with you, or like making rude remarks or whatever, in terms of not even just the gym, but anything you want your spouse or family or someone to change. It's like, that is never going to be the way that people are going to, one, respect you and what you're wanting, but two, also maybe change with you and realize that they want it for themselves. And you know what? Before I ask you guys questions, there's actually something I want. Oh my gosh, there's literally a bug on the ground. Sorry.
Kill it.
You see that little bug crawling?
Oh.
I mean, save it.
It's okay. It's crawling away.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know what bug that is.
Run.
Anyway, yeah, I'm like, run away. Sorry, it's distracting
Run from my
me.
mom.
Shoot, what was I saying? Oh, before I ask you guys questions, I actually wanted you, Kinley, to teach us and the audience the dance and changing the dance.
Okay,
is that what you were going
like,
to share?
no, I was like, what is she putting me on the spot
Yeah.
for?
But do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
that, I feel like
Yes.
Kinley taught me this, and it was such a perfect analogy and way to understand things and understand how people will change or not change depending on what you do. So
Okay. And to what you're saying, like, I feel like I was the one in the family who started meditating.
yes.
And I don't know if I was like, everyone, you need to meditate, or if I just was like, I'm meditating, I'm doing this. Because I feel like you guys were just like, oh, teach me what you're doing. I don't feel like I was like, you guys have to be trying this yoga thing. I feel like I'm more like that now than I was when I was
No, it's
learning
true,
it
though.
all.
Like, people will just naturally like see what you're doing, see how it benefits you, and then if you're putting that as a priority, and that's a huge thing, is like once you start putting your health especially as a priority in front of other people, and you won't bend or break for things, people will recognize that and be like, oh, like obviously there's a reason why she appreciates moving her body or like meditating or whatever, and like, yeah, and then they'll maybe follow along later.
Yeah. And I was doing it for me. I think that's the biggest thing, is like, so often I see people changing so that the people around them will change, not changing for them.
Yeah.
And my focus at the time was, I need help.
Yeah.
Clearly I need help. And I was so hyper focused on myself that it just rippled out without me like, so-and-so needs this. It like, I couldn't even prescribe what anybody else needed.
Absolutely.
Because I was just so focused on me.
I remember just being so excited to come. Well, as a mom, I wanted to just support you, and I was excited for you, even though I'd never really had great experiences with yoga before that. My mom always did yoga, and I thought it was beautiful, and we'd go to Lake Powell, and she'd do yoga on the rocks. And I would do it with her to like, because my mom wants me to, but I never really caught the bug, if you will. Until my kid did it, and then I'm like, okay, like Kinley wants to do this, I want to support her. And it was through trying to support you in your decision that I found the love for it. So,
Yeah.
I think both ways are good. Like, wasn't for me, but it became for me later.
Yeah. Okay, so the dance, I was taught this by Soraya Bastian, who taught me all about the chakras, all the things. And I don't know if she made it up or if she got it from someone else, but Soraya taught me. And we're going to do it. So if you're watching this on YouTube, awesome, because you get to see the visual of it, and it like makes it really anchor in. And if you're listening to the audio, I'll try to talk through like what we're doing.
The visuals.
Yes. Basically, we're dancing in this. So you might want to watch it on
But there's
YouTube.
an analogy to it.
Yes. So this is you, and do it with me. Maybe let's not snap, so it's not all in the audio. Yeah.
So
And
she's swaying her arms side to side, kind of dancing.
I'm just doing a dance move. And this is you walking through your life. This is the dance you do. You wake up at a certain time, you go take care of your kids or your dog or yourself, and you go to the gym, whatever it is. This is your dance. This is your dance in your relationships with other people. This is your dance in your relationship with yourself. And you're used to it, right? It's muscle memory. You don't even have to think about it. It's how you walk through life. Okay, well, then all of a sudden you decide, you know what? I just feel like I need change. Like I've been pushed to this breaking point. I love that you guys are still doing this because it is long.
It's okay.
You've been pushed to this point where you're like, okay, the life I've lived so far has gotten me to where I am, but like it's not, I'm ready for something more. I don't know what more is, but something needs to change.
Maybe going to the gym.
Yes.
Instead of whatever.
Yes.
Differently.
Anything. You want to even stay in your relationship, but you want to change a dynamic in your relationship of how you guys handle arguments or whatever it is. You've hit this point of, okay, I see that this is my dance. Something's got to give. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to try something new. Normally, I react in this moment when my kid does this or my spouse does this. Normally, this is how I respond. Instead of doing that, I'm going to try and do this. And now I'm changing my dance if you're not watching the video, and I'm doing the boogie. One arm up, one arm down.
And my mom and I are still swaying our arms.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Well, you can if you want. And so I decide, you know what? I'm going to try this thing. And I start doing a different dance move, a different way of reacting to life or responding to life. And I don't even know if it's going to work. But I know what I've done is not working. And so I'm trying something new. And I'm doing this dance move. And the people around me, if you're watching the visual, are still doing our normal sway dance.
And they're looking at you.
They're watching me like I'm a crazy person because I'm doing the boogie over here. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? This is our dance. Why are you trying to
be different?
Talk kind to me? Or why are you trying to go to the gym? Or why are you eating that way and not eating meat? Or whatever it is. Everyone's going to have their opinion of, this is how you normally act. What are you doing? But you were like, I'm doing something different. And I don't even know if it feels good or if it's right, but I have to try something new.
Yeah.
And the person who's with you, whether it's your spouse, your family, your kids, they're going to see you doing the boogie and they're going to be like, okay, well, if she stays doing the boogie, because you have the choice, do I stay doing the boogie that's uncomfortable and unknown? Or am I going to go back to what's comfortable because everybody wants me to?
Exactly.
And so you decide, I'm staying here. I'm focusing on me. I'm trying something new for me. And the people around you doing this sway, you guys doing this sway, you get to decide, are you going to stay doing this sway? Or are you going to start doing something else that feels right to you? And it doesn't have to be the boogie. I think that's where people get confused is they think they have to do the boogie with you. And it's not that. It's or the robot.
Yeah.
You get to decide, you know what? The boogie is not for me. The sway is our old dance. I'm going to try and do the wave.
Yeah.
But I will say, if I choose to do the Running Man, which I would,
Yes.
I may be like ramming into you. So sometimes our dance
And my dance might change.
actually affects your dance just because
others.
I'm different now, and I'm choosing different.
It does.
Not
Yeah.
good or bad. It's just, sometimes maybe our different dances work, and sometimes they are intrusive, or it forces us to change in ways we didn't even expect.
Yeah, if someone starts doing the ballroom and around the whole floor and you're trying to sit there and like do the worm on the ground, you've got a problem.
Yeah.
But that's where you get to decide, okay, what is the thing I can do for me? Not how can I stop them from doing the ballroom? How can I change the worm to still fill my cup but be in my own way?
Yes. I love that.
Have you ever seen, and I don't have the link for this, but it was the coolest thing. Somebody puts on this dance, and it's a regular thing in this town somewhere in the South, I think. And they play this music, and the whole point is that everybody does their own dance the whole time. And they are like doing actual dances, but they all move around through each other. They almost look like ants, where they're like moving through each other and like doing their own thing. But it looks beautiful because the music is bringing their movement together.
As a rhythm.
As a rhythm. It is the
It's like
coolest
ecstatic
thing.
dance.
Yeah, it is. And I want to find it. It's really cool.
There's
but-
places you can go where you put your own headphones in, listen to your own music.
Silent disco. There's,
And you all just do your own dance with your own music.
That is actually interesting, though, kind of bringing it back to the analogy of change and what we're talking about. You said something interesting. So we're talking about the dance analogy and how maybe I look at you and I'm like, oh, I don't like the boogie, but I like the whatever this is. What is this? The Congo or something?
Yeah.
But what's interesting is if you want those same people in your life, but you want to change a dance, then look at the rhythm of it. And I like that you said that because
that's cool.
So let's say you and your spouse, you could be listening to the same music, meaning the same tempo, the same rhythm. And so you will naturally blend in with each other or be cohesive with each other, but have your own dance move instead of copying each other. Does that make sense? I like that a lot because I was thinking about like, oh, well, what if I see Kinley having fun doing the boogie? So I try the boogie out and I like it. Great. But I also love that you said, no, but you can also try other things that, especially if you want your spouse in your life or like your family or whatever, you can try other things that still have the same rhythm. And then it's a better dance for both of
Yeah.
you guys. I love that. Thank you for sharing, because
Yeah.
I thought about that on the spot, and I was like, that's such a good analogy.
Yes.
And I feel like for, the listener here, I'm sure, because I remember when you first taught me that, I had like situations in my head where I was like, oh, I really have been wanting to change, and it's so hard and so uncomfortable to change. And there's people around me that are changing, but that really did give me the visual of being like, okay, but no, I can be uncomfortable for a little bit, or not even a little bit. I can be uncomfortable long enough to then be comfortable in like a new dance. And so I really liked that. So I hope the listener liked that as well.
You know what?
Mhm.
Oh, go ahead.
We're all right at the same time. Brighton, and you bring up a point from research I was reading, getting ready for this episode, which is, change is about determination and being like, I'm going to do this no matter what. And believe me, in my school, I'm working with athletes all the time.
Yeah.
I came to my schooling from a perspective of I want to use performance psychology for business and for families, and I never expected to use it with athletes, although I have somewhat. But watching them and seeing their passion of all of these former, Olympians or intense athletes, I was like, whoa, I want to up my game because it's so cool to see. But so part of it is the determination. Like, no matter what anybody else does around me, if they are going to eat sweets or if they're not going to exercise, that laser focus you have to be as an athlete is out of this world. And the other part you just brought up is it's also emotional regulation. So if you recognize I am feeling something when somebody judges me, which is typically, like you said, because they're like, oh, should I be doing that? It's more of a self-reflection. Yeah. But you feel something from that, whether it's judgment or other people's frustration. And so if you're aware of how you're feeling, then you can look at it and say, okay, if I regulate my emotions on this, then I can name it and let it flow through me and let them carry whatever frustration they have, and I can go on my way.
It's so true, because I think our energies really do intertwine with others, especially when the other person's a very strong energy. And actually, what's funny? I can't remember. I was reflecting on like, okay, what in my past do I remember about these experiences, especially when it came to like health, but everything. And I love that you say that, because I feel like in my own life, there was one time, I can't remember who it was with, and honestly, it doesn't even matter, but I wanted to eat a salad, and we were like out at a restaurant, and I had ordered a salad, and they had wanted something like really hearty and like very different than me. And because I had ordered a salad, then they started asking like, well, why are you ordering a salad? Like, or whatever. And then I think they maybe had ordered a salad or something too, even though they were telling me before. No. I think it was like a friend. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But I remember in that moment being like, I had chosen prior that I wanted a salad. Like, that's truly what I wanted. And so during that interaction where they were like trying to decide if they were asking me all these questions and then like ordering a salad, and even though they didn't want the salad, I remember being like, okay, I have to like calm myself down to be like, it's not my fault that they are feeling bad that I'm ordering a salad. Like, that's not my fault. And it does bring up like kind of guilt and shame, because you don't want to, especially in like a health sense, like, I mean, it's a really sensitive topic for other people when they see you changing stuff, or when they see you maybe losing weight or changing how you eat. Like, it totally, and even in my own way, like I've had emotions be brought up when I've seen other people change. Like, it's such a sensitive dynamic, and I think that's why I really wanted to touch on this topic in particular, because I agree with you. It's totally, you need to emotionally regulate yourself and let it go when other people have their own opinions about whatever it is they're feeling in their own lives. And that's
Not
hard.
about you.
Yeah. Which funny, that actually leads me into my question, because I did want you guys to answer this. So it's just like, why do you think people get uncomfortable when you start changing? Like, why do you think people get, I don't know if I like this word, but triggered when you start changing? We said projection. Yeah.
Activated. Go ahead. You have something to say.
I mean, I think it is.
You're looking at me with fire in your eyes.
I think that we typically and naturally focus on ourselves. It's just human nature. So when somebody else says, I'm going to run a marathon, you're like, oh, should I want to run a marathon? And it's not even about the person, but then the person running the marathon feels judged that you had this kind of weird reaction to their choice. But I honestly think most of the time it's really about them, like, oh, I'm changing my job because I want to do something I love. And maybe I don't care if I make as much money because I want to do something I love. And the other person's like, oh, but I do it for money. Should I care more that I'm having fun? And could I even do that? Is that possible? So I think people internalize it and they reflect on it, and that's my
It's so true.
Sometimes people are just rude and they judge whatever you do. But I think most of the
That
time
too.
there's other things going on as well.
It's all a reflection. I feel like at the end of the day, it comes down to not feeling enough or feeling shame. For one, I mean, shame is not feeling enough in one way or another.
It's like the strongest emotion, right? Like
one of the lowest vibrational
emotions. Yeah.
And I'm actually going to do an episode on this in a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome we're talking about it. But I feel like shame, we have shame for our actions and our non-actions usually. And when we see someone else acting a certain way, instantly we make it about us and we feel like, oh, should I be acting that way? It's just like the dance. Like, am I not doing enough? Am I not enough because I'm not acting how they're acting?
Yeah. I have a question, but it totally might be something completely different than what I'm thinking about. What are mirror neurons again?
So
is this something to do with this or something completely different?
I mean, it could be, because it's so interesting because we are more interconnected than we realize. Our thoughts, our minds, our feelings. So our prefrontal cortex has kind of like the planning system of our brain. And then you have the amygdala that's more the emotion sensing. And both of these are the top two places in your brain that senses what other people are doing and thinking and reflects it. So, and I think we can talk about that in the way of empathizing. If we're listening to a speaker and they're talking about a story and we feel like we tear up or, we are activated by that, that is mirror neurons that are literally reflecting what we're seeing. And so applying it to this, I think it's interesting to think, because say you want to go to the gym, I'm feeling triggered because I'm like, oh, maybe I should want to go to the gym and I haven't. And then you're like, oh, she's feeling, it's like we are walking around
each other,
affecting each other all the time. And I think that's why sometimes when you go into big rooms of people and we're all like bouncing off all of this energy, it is so important to recognize what is mine and what is something that's dropping in that is not mine. Because if we can recognize that, we can separate it and just own what we can control and let go of the rest.
Yeah. I mean, that practice is so good. Obviously, it's like so much easier said than done because life, I think it's an ever-changing thing depending on the people and the situations, but also I think it's just such a good practice to tune into what you think and feel. Actually, I'm going to call myself out here for a second, but I think this is going to be perfect for whoever's listening to this as well. I used to be jealous, way more jealous, not in terms of like relationship jealous, like my boyfriend and whatever. It was jealous in terms of like other women and maybe their beauty, or a lot of the time it was like their accomplishments, especially like content creation. Okay, people doing cool things. I'm literally going to say who I was jealous of because I think she's incredible, and this is going to make sense in 2 seconds. Let me back up for 2 seconds before I say who it was. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm thinking about the listener that maybe they're the ones that are projecting. And maybe someone else in their life is making strides and leaps and bounds in ways, and they're feeling like jealous or projecting, or insecure. It's all the same kind of feeling underneath it all. And so I'm thinking about that because I'm like, I've definitely I'm self-aware enough to know that I have also been that person that's been, well, why do they do this? Or like jealous of this person or whatever. And so bringing it back to this girl, because I genuinely have always loved her, and I know you love her too. Someone I've been jealous of, and this is going to make more sense in a second, is Indie Blue.
Oh.
It's because I love her. It's because what she has created with her community, how tight-knit like the Ghost Gang is, how she was able to grow, how she was able to travel. Obviously her travel videos were so beautiful, and like I've always wanted to be a videographer and be able to like put music into things and travel, whatever, okay? And if you guys don't know who she is, she's incredible. You should check her out. She really her blog posts, she's so deep and like in tune. Just love her. There's 2 things I'm thinking of, but when I think back to times like that and girls like that I'm like, oh, they're so cool. I heard this quote or this idea, not necessarily a quote, that has stuck with me ever since I heard it. So it says, wherever you feel jealousy is what you want in life. And so use the jealousy as a North Star of what you're doing in your life that's getting in your way, and then like how you can change it to actually get the thing you want. And ever since I heard that, and ever since I've, every time I feel like maybe envy or something like whatever, I really do sit there with myself and I'm like, okay, well, why? Why am I feeling that way? Is it plainly because this girl on Instagram's beautiful or has long hair or like whatever? And yeah, it actually brings it back to me, and then it brings it back to like, what can I do about that?
Which takes so much self-awareness to be able to be like, okay, what is it about me that's wanting something? Because I feel like we walk around a world where most people right now, it's changing, are looking at the other person and being like, they're the problem. But the fact that you can like look at yourself is so cool. I'm actually curious though, what is it, or was it, I don't know if it's past tense or present tense, the most, like what was the core thing that you were jealous of that was actually a mirror back on you?
Honestly, it was during a time that I wanted to start creating online and I didn't because I was too afraid. And I was also pretty young, so like I give myself grace for that too. It's always nerve-wracking, but like especially when you're young. And so I think it was that, and like how so free she was and how expressive she is, like
Authentic to herself.
Yeah, that's a big one because and she's not the only one, but she's just one that like popped up into my head that like obviously she's beautiful and she's gorgeous and stuff too. And but I really do think it's like the people that get, I think the most triggered in life get triggered at people that are their authentic selves fully. That's I guess a theory that I have because I think there's just a lot of things that can come up because you look at other people that are living a life that you want and they're just being them online or in person and wearing what they want to wear. And I feel like that can bring up a lot of emotion in yourself.
I have to bring up something with parenting here because I think, well, a few things. Okay, so in parenting, one thing that happens is you all of a sudden have this baby and you're trying to figure out how you want to raise the baby and you've never been a mom, and you look around, and I didn't have the internet or social media when I had little babies, thank goodness, because I was just kind of doing my best. But still in my neighborhood or wherever I was, I would be like, oh, that mom has a specific bedtime. Should I be doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, this mom believes in taking them, out and letting them do what they're going to do, and they're going to fall asleep in the car seat when they're tired. There's a million things you can connect with being a parent and deciding what you want to do, and it can drive you crazy because you just want to be a good parent. After working with parents for, 3 decades, really almost, what I believe is that we're the parent that our kids need when we're functioning, the best that we can. So our parenting style is going to look totally different than everybody else's, and that's good and it's fine. It's just more about refining how we want to be and how we see it happening or wanting it to happen. And then the other thing is, I think it's easy for parents to project on their children fears. So like maybe they're not judging them because they think that they're doing something wrong or why don't you do this, but almost like they're a walking extension of you because you care about them and you raise them. And so it's really hard to be like, teach, and they're their own humans and they're supposed to be, but then letting that happen is hard. And so I think judgment and frustration, you can see that from parent to kid so easily.
I think that's a really good point and a good perspective, especially when it comes to parents. Like maybe there's a younger audience member listening to this and they're like, well, my parent is not letting me do this or whatever. But then I even think back to like you and dad and your guys' evolution of careers and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, well, it's probably because they've had experience getting burned in that certain situation that you're wanting to walk down.
And you want to let them like go on their way, and you're like, oh, I know how this ends. Which you don't know how it ends. It's going to be different with every kid.
Yeah,
you have your experience.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you have something to say?
Yeah, this is just so cool because like we all think about this topic, the topic of change, in our own language. Like I think about it in relationships because for me, I was so scared and insecure in my past relationship, especially when we were trying to heal and change. It was like I was manic because I was so scared of what change meant. And it was valid to be scared of it. But like so much good comes from change too. I just think it's interesting. I don't really have a fully formed thought.
What
I love
about the
that.
change you see in people you've worked with in your yoga therapy and training settings when you're trying to help them change? You naturally probably reflect on your own change experiences, but then you're able to see it from a different perspective.
It was interesting, like teaching in person especially, and online too, like just seeing how scared humans are of change.
Yeah.
It's not even like just if you've gone through this or if you've gone through that, like humans naturally are scared of the unknown.
Yeah.
And that's really what change is.
For sure.
Yeah. So like in A Body Keeps a Score, it talks about how we have our safety in the things that we're used to doing and it's comfort. And when we change, we almost feel threatened because it's not the norm. And so feeling
Not the dance.
Yeah, it's not the dance. So feeling comfortable in that, even though it's something new, is a challenge.
Love that. There's actually so many avenues I could go of like things I could ask you guys and stuff. So I'm like trying to decide. Sweet. Funny enough, so I was thinking about like, okay, what advice or things that can I think about in terms of I don't know, just advice during any type of change. And I think we've kind of touched on it. And so I kind of want to reroute, but I just want to touch on what I wrote down for a second. So first I said, embodiment is the proof. So I said, you don't have to convince anyone you're changing. Your energy and the way you show up and your actions will do that for you, you know?
And what's your intention? Is it for you or for them?
Exactly.
Like, are you doing it to make sure somebody knows you're changing? Or are you doing it for yourself because you want to be changed?
Yeah. And then they'll notice later on, which it doesn't even matter if they do, but like, yeah, it'll be in your energy and stuff. So it's all about like, what are you doing? It really is like an inward focus. And then another thing I wrote is like, discomfort doesn't equal wrong. And I think when we're talking about change, whether it's health or career or whatever, like I think knowing that it's going to be uncomfortable and knowing that it's going to be different than you thought and the change is going to feel weird and scary, sometimes I feel like you can get in your head and be like, oh, well, this is the wrong choice then. Oh, well, it's feeling really scary right now. This is the wrong choice. I shouldn't have done this. But it's like you have to give it a lot more time than you would think and a lot more effort than you would think to truly know if it was a right or wrong choice. I don't believe there's any like truly wrong choices, but
I'm actually really passionate about this. Really passionate about knowing the difference between no and new in the body.
Yeah.
Because fear is going to show up either way, but can you pause and check in with your body to know, is it fear because you're in danger or is it fear because of the unknown? And there is a difference in the body. Fear of like, this is a no, you will know. It's like a hard stop, like your body tightens and you can't breathe and it's like, no, like full body no, everything's tight. Where new, you might still get the heart flutters and feel like, I'm so scared, but it's almost like an opening in the body. Like, oh, this is so scary, but it also feels like I'm being pulled to it.
Yeah. I love that. I love the no versus new. That's so good. So then there's two places I want to go. As I was thinking about, or we were talking about like kind of the projecting of the person and the jealousy and envy and stuff when it comes to change. How do I ask this? I was either going to ask, do you guys have any examples of when you felt that or like have noticed something or changed something about yourself and you were the person on that side that was like, oh, they're changing and you were almost the problem? And did it help you in some way?
Yeah,
I'll
go first.
I know that's kind of a hard question, but
No, I actually, when I started dating Cameron, my now husband, I was really faced with myself of like, okay, he is so his own person. Am I going to try to control that? Am I going to try to go into old patterns of, no, don't go there without me because what if there's a woman there that's beautiful? Like, whoa, I had so many patterns like that. And I was really put face to face with myself of, am I going to care more about my own ego, protecting my own ego, or am I going to care more about being authentic?
Yeah.
And it's way less hard now because of the momentum of like, okay, I now know I am safe. I now know it's okay to live a totally different life than I lived. But like every moment was a practice of letting go of my old pattern of how I would react to certain things and like stepping into a new version. So I'd almost say it's a better, like change for the better.
Yeah, I love that. Totally. Mom, you don't have to share. This is like an off the cuff
Yes, you do.
question.
I will share, but I'm trying to choose what I will share.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to jump back to, and there's been times in my relationship with Dad where it's like, okay, he's changing and that changes me, and then I need to help change him. You know, same thing that you're talking about, dynamics in any relationship. I think with kids, once again, is the most challenging because you do everything to teach them that you can, you offer, and then you watch them change, and like you cannot control it. We shouldn't, and we cannot. And so I'm trying to think of a specific example. Maybe you guys can help me. I'm sure I've thought about that with each of you in different ways.
Yeah. There's this quote that has to do more with marriage that says, being married to a person is witnessing 1,000 deaths in their lifetime and 1,000 rebirths. And I think it's so true.
Yeah, because you change over time. I mean, Dad and I have been together, it'll be 30 years in March, married. And we dated for almost 3 years before that, 2.5 years or something. And yeah, we've both changed many times over the years, and you need to. And as a parent, you change. You're not. Yeah. I am not the same parent that I was to Kinley as I am to Jordan at all. You know, and to Sydney, even when I met Sydney, because she's my bonus daughter, and John and I weren't married yet. It was like I was, I think I was 18 when I met her.
Yeah,
and she was 11 months old, and it's like, I was more like, I would say, even a big sister to her. I wasn't married yet. I loved her. I wanted to, be her mom maybe eventually, but like I parented her in a totally different way. And it's not good or bad. It's just like with the younger kids, I remember running with them more, and then as I got older or whatever, I'd be like, okay, you run and I'll watch you in the playground, and, you just change. And it's so to your point, supporting each other's changes and growths and supporting our own is one of the biggest and most amazing experiences in a relationship.
Yeah, I love that. To the second point with this, so we were talking about the person that is maybe projecting or having a hard time changing with you or whatever, but now I think I want to close it with letting go of your past self. And what you guys, maybe tips / I don't know if I like tips or tricks, but just thoughts on that, because it's really hard to change. And so it's like, how do you change in the very beginning? How do you take that first leap when your past self is so comfortable?
Okay, and I have thoughts on this.
Yeah, I know you. I know you would.
Okay. I feel like change comes down to what are the stories you're telling yourself. Like this week I went to lunch with a friend, and they were telling me something hard that they've experienced for years. And they were like, I hate it. Like, I don't want it. I can't even leave the house. It's so hard. And then they were saying, but I can't change it. But I can't. I just can't. I can't. And I was like, do I say something about how they're repeating, I can't change? And I think change is hard if you're attached to your past version of yourself. But if you're more present and you focus on the right now and what you're feeling in this moment, it's way less hard. It's when we start telling stories of, oh, well, my past version doesn't go to the gym because it hurt her knee in the past, and so I can't go now. Like, that is living in the past. That's not living in the present. Where if right now you're wanting to go to the gym, or you're debating and you just are like, you know what? I want to go to the gym right now because I want to feel energized in my body. And you don't attach a story beyond the present moment, change is a lot easier.
I love that. It's so, so good. Do you have a thought?
Yeah, I think for me, right now, currently, things that I'm working on changing, it's been helpful to have a therapist. So and the reason why is because every week I know that I'm going to show up and
Yeah.
talk and kind of break down how I'm feeling and it kind of in a way brings it top of mind about,
Totally.
oh yeah, this is something I'm working on, where I can get really distracted and busy. It's my natural way of coping with anything, which is denial and distraction. It's not the performance psychology way, but that's my natural inclination. And so if I'm frustrated, I'm like, oh, I'll just do this and this, and I fill my life with things that I love and I'm excited about, but I'm maybe not working on core things I want to change about myself. So with the therapist, it's the first time I've had a consistent therapist longer than just maybe a few times or something, or not even a relationship therapist, but me, just focused on me. And I actually said this to her yesterday. I love that I was able to say, hey, I'm actually not ready to talk about maybe my hardest things right now. Let me just tell you about my day for a minute. And then I can talk. And then I kind of gradually go into like, okay, I'm ready to talk about the harder things. And I said to her, I'm so grateful to have a space I can show up where I know that I'm going to talk to each week, and it helps me stay focused so that throughout the week, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I'm working on this and I'm trying to do these things. Helps me keep accountable. So I think accountability is great. Not that everybody has to have a therapist, but even in a journal or a friend or meditation or whatever that is. So you're reminding yourself. My journal helps me every day. Oh yeah, this is on my to-do. Oh yeah, I'm scheduling going to the gym ahead of time. I didn't this week, and it's the first week I haven't gone for at least twice is my goal to get to Orange Theory. So anyway, that's my answer.
I love that. I also feel like just the importance of people, because like there's ChatGPT and there's even our journals and stuff that are like, yeah, we can be accountable, but to have someone
Oh yeah, it's
you're
different.
gonna talk to. And for me, it was when I used to go teach classes. It was like, okay, I have to check in with my class every week. Hello, be aware. And it's so helpful.
I agree. I totally agree. And yeah, to the listener with this, again, try and choose someone that is not going to be triggered by your change. You know what I mean?
And
or
if
like,
they are triggered, choose someone that can handle their own triggers.
yeah, or like is aware. Or,
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I love both of those. I think I want to close with this, this message to the listener as well as to ourselves. And maybe there's stuff we're trying to change in our lives or things we've already changed. We're on an upward trajectory. I think it's important to thank your past self for what it was able to take you through. He was able to take you through, and understand that I'm going to say for me, did the best that she could with the information that she had at that time and the coping skills that she had at that time. And yet know that you can thank her and allow her to be a past version of you. It doesn't have to be you forever. And I think, at least for me, having kind of the visual of the visual separation is kind of nice to be like, okay, yeah, I used to do those things when I was really stressed, and yet like that's not me anymore, and that's just not something that I do anymore. And also be aware of, your shame. Obviously, we're humans floating on this rock, and we're going to make mistakes and do things we didn't want to do and whatever, but I think just having the gratitude for yourself and then moving forward, because at the end of the day, I don't think shame and hatred is going to fuel a positive change. I think it can for a little bit, to be like, oh, I'm so done with this. I'm so mad at myself. Like, anger can be fuel in that way. But I always say this, like, it's one day it'll change. It'll have to change into something more than that, something more exciting and happy when it comes to doing the things you want to do. And yeah, do you guys have any closing thoughts, or is that really it?
I love it.
I'm just going to add to what you said really fast. I once heard a quote that said, the same kind of energy that took you to where you are now, so what drove you, is the same thing you have to maintain to stay there. So you can build from fear and anger and all those things, but to keep that same level of energy up, you would have to do that same thing. It's really hard to replace it. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
So being aware of what energy we're using to get there, and
is
what,
it
and is it breaking down our body, like you're saying, or is it fueling us?
Well,
Totally.
For me, it was like the anger and pain was what got me to therapy, but no healing actually happens through force. It happens through love. So like it got me there, but the true healing happened when I softened.
Sustainable.
Yeah. Totally. Love that so much. So yeah, that is our episode, and I think that's it. We have a freebie. I'm gonna put in the book list. So it's all of our favorite books, mind, body, soul books, things
And
we've read.
The Body Keeps a Score that we mentioned in this is on that list too.
Yeah, perfect. I should have mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, I didn't
but
think about it.
It's okay. It'll be down in the description. And as always, if you want to follow us on Instagram, be up to date with our YouTube channels as well, and we'll link everything in the description. And until next time.